A major issue for many job seekers at the moment, dealing with the obviously very, very tough conditions that we are in the job market, is avoiding coming across to a potential employer as being, for want of a better word, desperate, i.e. just grabbing at any job opportunity that's out there, such as the state of the situation at the moment. Now, this is a really tricky one because, of course, the harsh reality is you may well feel that you are a bit desperate. You may well be, firing off applications for almost anything and everything that you feel could be a contender for you. What I'm talking about is not so much what you're actually doing, as in what the reality is, but it's more about how it comes across. How are your actions and your approach perceived by a potential new employer? What you're actually doing is in a sense between you, me, and your conscience. It doesn't matter. I suppose it's a little bit of that analogy of the duck on the duck pond, sort of paddling like crazy down below, but looking very serene and calm above. That's sort of almost the image you need to convey. And when people ask me, well, how do I avoid that, Mark? Because perhaps the reality is I am sending out lots and lots of job applications every day, and perhaps to some extent you don't have the luxury of being as selective as you would normally be, and therefore you are to some degree, I hate to say it, desperate in inverted commas. How do you prevent that being obvious? How do you prevent that coming through in terms of your what you say and your demeanor? And I think the trick with this is to be very specific. You really need to focus very tightly, particularly in an interview situation, although obviously also to some extent in the build up to that interview, i.e. securing a job interview, in terms of how you apply and what you say in your application, and that may be something that you write and send in a kind of email type format. It might be your resume, of course. It might be a cover letter. Something I'm a big fan of people doing, if they can and if they're willing, is to get on the phone. So it could be how you explain verbally what it is that you're looking to achieve from this job application outcome. The more specific you can be about this role, this company, this sector, this marketplace, the more detail you can provide around that, it's much easier for you to convey a sense of selectivity. It's much easier for you to tell Macquarie Bank that this role as a data analyst in their bonds and futures market is absolutely what you've been dreaming of forever. If you can give that level of individuality to your application, it's much easier, I think, for you to show them that there's a degree of thought that's gone into this. So you're not just simply bashing out applications all over the place. So again, make sure you're conscious of the fact that it isn't really about what you actually are feeling, and to some extent it's not even about what you're actually doing. It's just more how it comes across. You can still apply for 100 jobs a day if you feel that you want and need to do that. The issue is you've just got to try and make sure that each one of those 100 companies that you're approaching is made to feel a little bit special, and that you're not just simply firing out applications willy-nilly. It's difficult to do, and it does take a bit of time and a bit of effort to make things feel very, very individualized. But if you do that, you've got a much better chance of being perceived as a selective, considered applicant rather than someone just literally chasing anything that's out there. Okay, it's difficult and it takes a bit of time and effort, but I genuinely believe you will find a much better outcome if you can do it that way. Okay, good luck.